I'd like to share with you an important matter. This is important for you to know and to teach others as well, particularly those who have recently embraced the religion of Islam. That is because often recent converts, they try to read the book of the Qur'an on their own, even though many of them do not speak the Arabic language. So they resort to getting books that claim to be translations of the book of the Qur'an. Well, let us start by saying that the Qur'an is not to be translated literally, because we know that the Qur'an contains two types of verses, the muhkam verses and the mutashabih verses. The muhkam verses are those that have a clear meaning. We take the apparent meaning, such as the verse لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. The meaning is clear. It means nothing resembles Allah at all. So from this verse we understand that Allah is not a body, Allah is not light, Allah does not have a shape, size, texture, volume, form. Allah does not have any of the attributes of the creation. We understand all of this from this muhkam verse, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. It means nothing resembles Allah at all. The other kind of verse is the mutashabih verse. The mutashabih verse, we cannot take the apparent literal meaning. However, we resort to what the trustworthy scholars said is the meaning of the verse, because otherwise, if a person were to take the literal apparent meaning, it would make the verses of the Qur'an contradict each other, and this is definitely not the case. The verses of the Qur'an do not contradict each other. An example of a mutashabih verse is Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. The meaning of this verse is that Allah Ta'ala is the one who guides the residents of the sky, who are the angels, to the proper belief. And Allah is the one who guides some of the residents of earth to the proper belief, because we know that some are believers and some are non-believers. So here the term nur does not mean light. However, unfortunately, we see that in many of these books that claim to be translations of the Qur'an, whether in English, German, French, or any other language, unfortunately, they take these verses and they give the apparent meaning, they translate the apparent meaning. And by that, they're saying about Allah that He is light. When they say that about Allah, they make the verses of the Qur'an contradict each other, because as we said earlier, the verse لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ means that nothing resembles Allah at all. Light is something that is created, and for sure, God is not like His creation. Therefore, one should be cautious. One should go back to what the scholars said is the meaning of the mutashabih verses and not translate on his own. So we should warn people from reading these books that claim to be translations of the Qur'an. And Allah Ta'ala knows best.